Dropper posts are one of the best upgrades you can make to a bike. They completely change the way you ride and have certainly become a mainstream part of the industry. Although, for how popular they are, finding an affordable option is still a bit of a challenge. PNW Components saw this and decided to try to fix that. Today, we're going to take a look at their mechanical dropper, the Rainier.
Hey everyone, my name's Joseph and today we're going to talk about the Rainier dropper post from PNW Components. Before we get to that though, I just want to thank everyone who has subscribed so far, and anyone who's new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so that way you don't miss any new content. Now, just to be completely transparent, I did receive this unit for free after I reached out to PNW Components. I actually had a subscriber recommend them to me on one of my live streams where we were building up this Chromag. And after doing some research, I really liked what the company was doing. I reached out to them, and Aaron over at PNW Components was nice enough to send me a product. Now, with that, I totally respect your guys' trust in me, and because of that, I'm going to try to stay as impartial as I can. I'm actually going to be comparing this to what is my favorite dropper post, the Fox Transfer, that currently lives on my Yeti SB5 Plus. The Rainier is a mechanical dropper offered in PNW's lineup. It only comes in 125 millimeters of travel, but you do have the option between 30.9 or 31.6 seat post diameter. If you need more travel though, you're going to have to move up to the Bachelor, which is an air dropper that comes in at 150 and 170 millimeters of travel. Now for $260, you do get a lot for your money. The machining on the dropper feels very high quality and gives it a very premium feel. I was also happy to find that it was only 10 grams heavier than the equivalent Fox Transfer at 555 grams versus 544 grams. As far as bike compatibility, you're definitely going to want to make sure that you check on PNW's website to make sure that this is going to fit your bike. It's only about an inch longer compared to the equivalent Fox Transfer, but with modern geometry having bent seat tubes become the norm, it's something to consider, though with 125 millimeters of drop, it's probably not going to be an issue for most people. One awesome thing about PNW's droppers is that they all come with remote levers, which is a big selling point when you look at that $260 price tag. Compared to an equivalent Fox Transfer, you have to spend $295 plus another $65 for the remote that isn't included. The remote lever that comes with the dropper is actually pretty high quality. It has an all-metal construction and feels really solid when you operate it. The only thing that I would ask PNW to change is maybe machine a little bit of texture on the remote lever so that way it's a little bit easier to contact during the rough sections. Now, one of the big standout features of the Rainier dropper is the spin stop technology. Now, for those of you that remember back in the day when droppers first came on the scene, there was a lot of side-to-side play on the saddle, which was less than reassuring when you were going down a chunky section. Now, companies have come a long way in reducing that, but PNW has basically all but removed it on their Rainier dropper and other PNW droppers. The dropper is extremely smooth, it gets out of the way without much hassle, and it has a decent return rate. The riders that like a instantaneous return might not like this, but the majority of the riders will find it adequate. As a side note, the dropper post is so smooth that it's actually near silent, which was something that was a little bit of a adjustment for me. With my Fox Transfer, it has that nice tunk at the top, letting me know that the seat's all the way up. The Rainier doesn't have that, but you do get used to it after a while. Now, one thing to point out, there are people that spend good money on silencing their bikes, so this might actually be a killer feature for them.
If you're wondering about how it handles cold weather, I actually got to test that out this past Christmas in Colorado. When the temperature started to dip below freezing, this was the experience I had with the dropper. It still works. It's a little slow. Wow, that mud was frozen on there. It's a little slow, but it's still working, which is very important for people who like to ride in cold weather climates. I actually got a little curious about how much cold the dropper post could tolerate, so I stuck it in a freezer for 2 hours just to see what would happen, and to my surprise, it still operated. A little slow like you saw earlier, but still operated.
So now I want to talk to you about a very cool experience that I had with PNW while working on this video. As I mentioned before, I got this dropper post for free to be able to check out and give my impressions on. Now, about a month and a half into filming, I actually ran into some issues with the dropper post. There was something wrong. It wouldn't extend all the way through its travel. There was definitely some metal on metal grinding going on inside the dropper post. So I reached out to Aaron, let him know what was happening, and he had me send back the old dropper post and sent me a replacement. Now, when he got the bad dropper post, they opened it up and they actually told me that it was a defective cartridge inside of that dropper. Now, why that's important to me is the fact that I had told them everything that I'd done to the dropper post. I had stuck it in a freezer for over 2 hours just to see if I could get it to seize up. And then I was constantly taking it on and off the bike to be able to film more footage for the video. And I was pretty convinced that maybe I had done something wrong. Maybe I had over-tightened it, or you probably aren't gonna ride in under 20-degree weather as the average rider. But no, they took ownership of the product that they made, and they were honest about it. That speaks volumes to me. What also speaks volumes is the fact that when I told them I wanted to take a bunch of extra time to be able to ride on this replacement dropper before making the video and publishing my thoughts, Aaron was completely supportive of that. And he was very supportive of me being honest and open about my experiences with the PNW dropper. Aaron and all the people at PNW are riders first and foremost. They would be just as bummed out to find that they made a defective part as we would to get the defective part. So I should probably mention at this point that all of PNW's droppers come with a 3-year manufacturer warranty. So if you do happen to have any issues, they're going to do everything they can to make it right.
In summary, I think the Rainier offers a lot to riders looking for a budget dropper post. 125mm of travel may seem a bit short these days, but it's versatile enough to fit most riders. PNW did a great job creating a dropper that stays under $300 without sacrificing quality, and knowing the company has your back is also a big plus. Overall, I'm very happy with the Rainier. I'll likely be running it on my Chromag for a bit longer before giving the Bachelor a try. As a bonus, here's a quick look at the PNW range stem. This guy jumped out at me while I was on their website because of the GoPro mount they have built into it. I've been using this for the past few months and love being able to get different shots into my videos. It's also a great place for a 360 camera, which I actually just got one, so keep an eye out for content on that in the future. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Until next time, get out there and find your next adventure.